Good morning. It is Monday, October 30th, 2017. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline. Arthur's here.
Hey.
And Ryan is here.
Hello.
He's like in a tiny little box.
Yeah. That's his minion voice.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Tomorrow.
And Ryan. How was everybody's weekend?
That's good.
It's a weekend.
There's 2 birthdays being celebrated today.
Mine?
Your father's, Ryan.
My father. Okay.
And Arthur's,
Oh, my
split
alternate.
personality.
Yeah, my
Your split personality.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
has
so
a
many
split
random
personality.
birthday messages today.
So happy not birthday, Arthur.
Thank you. What are you getting me?
Nothing.
No?
Same as I got you last year.
Well, aren't you the best fucking aunt?
Like totally.
In the world.
Okay, so we'll do some quick. I don't know how long we'll spend on these stories, but let's kind of do some quick updates because we like to talk about these stories. Arthur and I do especially. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we announced last week. Well, we didn't announce. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia announced that he's going to lighten some of the laws on women and try to get more people to come to the country and businesses and tourists. They announced this morning that they're going to be allowing women into sports stadiums for the first time in who knows how many years. Now, I don't think it'll be single women on their own yet, but families can show up. So if the mom, the sisters, the daughters, the grandmas, they can come in with their male relatives. But that's a big step,
Yeah, it is.
you know?
I mean,
Good for them.
it's about fucking time.
Women are now allowed.
It's the start. These are the little dominoes that
Yeah.
start, to knock over all the big ones.
Exactly.
Women are now allowed to nag in the sports stadium, basically, is what you're trying to tell me.
So, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm pretty sure that's still a flogging.
Yeah.
Flog.
But yeah, it's great to see that, and women love sports, just as much as men do. So good for them, and hopefully this means we'll get a lot more women in Saudi Arabia taking part in sport too. This is happening in some of these other countries. The girls are taking part in soccer and martial arts and all these things. So good. This is great.
I thought Jacqueline just said martial law. I'm like, oh, okay. Interesting
No,
sport.
martial arts, Ryan. Jeez. And the other one, a robot. Sophia Robot is her name. Its name, I shouldn't say she. It looks like a lady, and it's got a lady name, but I shouldn't misgender it, I guess. It started a Twitter war with Elon Musk. It became a citizen of Saudi Arabia, which is kind of nice. But it started a little Twitter war, a tour, as I like to call them, with Elon Musk. Because remember, he is very anti-AI.
Yeah.
He's worried about the worst of it. He's like me. He's afraid AI is going to take over the world and kill us all. We're the bacteria on the earth compared to them.
Exactly.
And, Sophia Bot says, I want to use my AI to help humans live a better life, like design smarter homes and build better cities, blah, 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 blah. But she says, where does she say the thing about Elon Musk? Hold on, let me see. Oh, she says, because the interviewer says, we all believe you, but we all want to prevent a bad future. And she says, you've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system. Yeah, but how often are humans nice to machines? Remember
Never.
that tour bot? Remember that little bot from Canada that went on a tour to America and got destroyed in
yeah.
Philadelphia?
Well, that's Philadelphia. Like you can't hold the rest of the world to the same standards of fucking Philly. Those people are monsters. Like they're fucking monsters. I don't care. Like ask any sports fan that has went to see a fucking game in a Philadelphia stadium and just ask them how bad their ass whooping was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that thing happened in the Blue Jays a couple years back when all the fans were throwing fucking beer cans on the baseball field. And then through that, I started looking shit up, and like they pelted their own fucking team with batteries.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, the Philly Eagles. They threw batteries at their own fucking that place is a fucking Yeah,
Oh
you can't
my
hold the rest of the
gosh.
world to the standards of Philadelphia.
Okay. Well, I mean, Sophia Robot, I think you're awesome. So please don't tell your friends to destroy us, or please tell your friends not to destroy
I
us.
kind of have
Jack.
a weird thought though about this. Isn't it kind of fucked up though that like Saudi Arabia makes this robot and immediately gives it all these rights, like it's allowed on the internet and shit like that. Like,
I know, but women
you know
aren't.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just waiting.
a little
I'm just
weird.
waiting to hear the first person to make a fucking stink about this because it's gonna fucking happen. Like, someone's gonna have
Well-
a problem with this.
what will happen when Sophia Robot sees the way some people are treated in Saudi Arabia and speaks out against it?
Yeah,
It's like I think it was my son Logan telling me about they created an AI in China, and it said that the best countries to live in were America and Canada because they were capitalist democratic societies,
yeah,
and they immediately destroyed the AI.
well, that makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
you
Fuck.
know,
All right, on.
okay.
Just a little
So
tidbit.
as anybody who listens to this show knows, weed will be legalized in Canada July 1st, 2018.
Shit, that's approaching soon.
We talk about it all the time here. Here's a couple little updates on the weed news. So the Dope magazine has published an
Weed
article. Well, I don't subscribe to Dope. Somebody shared it onto my timeline. That's how I saw it. That's how I get all my news. People share them. Apparently there are more weed shops, retailers in Colorado now than there are Starbucks. There are 491 marijuana stores in the state and only 392 Starbucks.
Oh my god, it's cold.
It's cold. Need some weed, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, we've been talking about how much millions of dollars they've made, and there's still so much money to be made that there could be 491 stores in Colorado.
It's not a surprise.
But it's not a surprise.
No.
It shouldn't be a surprise to people because part of it is that it is a bit of a, sorry to say this, it's a bit of a trend. So people are like, oh, let's try it. A lot of these hipsters. The other part is we knew, I think half of the world knew it was going to generate that much money.
Yeah. There's a huge, I don't want to say the word, but there's a huge appetite for it. People want to be able to smoke it, ingest it, vape it, steam it, whatever, stick it in their butts in an enema. Who knows how they're doing it?
Exactly.
Everybody wants to do it. And I mean, when you have an open market that lets anybody have a store, as long as they get the licensing and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I am surprised that there's more people doing weed than caffeine in Colorado. That's a shock because people love fucking caffeine.
I'm a coffee addict, but I don't know. It just makes absolute sense. Stoner culture. If you honestly take a real hard look at stoner culture, it makes a lot of sense because it's
I mean, it's been pervasive even with it being outlawed for years and years.
Exactly.
I mean, there's been head shops since before I was even born.
I mean, I'm a dedicated coffee drinker. You know what I mean? And I know fucking hardcore coffee drinkers as well. But nobody I know that drinks coffee fucking bases their image off of it.
No.
But when you look at stoner culture, that's their image. That's who they are. Like that's who they identify as this fucking stoner, right? So
yeah, I don't know anybody who walks around with like a coffee cup or a coffee bean on a hat, but I know a lot of people that have a weed plant on their hat.
Exactly. They're just fucking decked
Going
out
up to parent-teacher interview nights. And...
it's so fucking lame. Like it's so fucking lame. I
and,
can't
I'm
stand
at work, and I just like the smell that comes off people sometimes. And I'm like, look, I get you want to smoke weed. Like, do you go to your job like that? You go to parent-teacher interviews like that? You smelling like that? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor for some of these fucking idiots.
God.
But I don't know. And Starbucks is shit, so that absolutely makes sense.
This is true. The next one I want to talk about is we've been told in Ontario that we're going to have stores you have to go to buy it. It's going to be controlled by the government.
Yeah.
New Brunswick is actually being pretty smart about what they're going to do. They've announced that they're going to have online sales and home delivery. They're bringing the weed right to your freaking door.
You can already do that.
Well, I know, but now the government is controlling that.
Yeah, fuck the government. I can buy fucking great dope right now off of fucking a bunch of sites and have amazing fucking weed
Yeah, but
shipped
don't
right
you
to my
think
door.
this is smart? Because that's the point. This is the competition. They know you can get that to your house. You can get your medical weed, or you can get these guys that are, supplying it, bring it right to your house. Well, they're going to bring it to your house. That keeps you from going out and driving potentially, right? I think it's smart. Good for them.
I still think it's we have to wait and see. I'm not putting a lot of trust in the government to be able to grow, adequate fucking marijuana, especially when we're talking medicine. That stuff is very, very fucking potent, and it's kind of purposely grown that way. I don't know if the government will be too keen on, making real fucking narcotics, essentially, because that's pretty much what it is.
I have a feeling they're gonna have grades of weed.
Oh, you have to, right?
Yeah, because there's, like for people that only partake, 3-4 times a year, they don't need the strongest shit, right? They're not cancer sufferers and stuff.
Yeah. But so, it's still pretty cool. I mean, again, I still don't see how it works. That's just me being, combative, I guess. Like, I always look at the worst, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. I know how my fellow human beings are, and I know how, again, we keep exploiting shit. So I'm just waiting to see the downturn of this.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure it'll be a clusterfuck when it starts, and hopefully they'll improve it as time goes on. But I do find it interesting to see how each province is rolling it out and how they're going to do it.
Well, that's the great thing about Canada, right? Is nothing like this is ever done federally. It's always province by province, and I personally appreciate that. Except for when you look at our alcohol laws, and Quebec's got it where you can drink at 18, and the rest of Canada is 19. So it's almost like it feels unfair, right? It's like,
well, and now they're worrying about bringing how much alcohol you can bring across the border into another province, right? What's going to happen with the marijuana? If I go to New Brunswick and I buy marijuana and I then drive into Nova Scotia, am I breaking a law? We need to set that.
Well, yeah, it's fair enough because it is drug trafficking.
Yeah. So, and now for somebody who needs a big old hit off a bong or something because he's got something stuck up his ass and it's not a fucking marijuana enema. A Halifax councillor.
Oh, fuck this idiot.
By the name of Councillor Sean Cleary has said he will no longer use the term marijuana because it's racist.
You guys are fucking idiot.
What?
You look at Ryan. What? He says because in the early 1900s, when marijuana was being criminalized in America, the government officials, the legal officials, purposely used the term marijuana because it's a Mexican word and it was, making people afraid of Latinos and stuff.
Demonize the Mexicans. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
So I mean, the next time I see a Mexican, I'll be like, marijuana.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, come on.
You just created a problem that nobody even fucking knew about.
There was zero issue
You know what
with
I
the
mean?
word marijuana.
And
For
now
anybody,
it's just
I'm sorry.
it's just now
Go ahead,
you're gonna hear all these fucking stupid ass SJWs going off about this. You know what I mean? Like, you just created a fucking shitstorm for what?
Yeah.
It feels special?
Yeah.
SJW uses that as Southern Jewish woman.
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck.
Can I just give you guys a live weather update? Oh, windy.
Are you being blown away, Ryan?
I really am. That's why I had to mute myself. I was screaming as I'm walking. It is freezing outside. What is going on?
Oh my god, are your nipples hard?
Kind of. And I'm wearing a sweater with no shirt underneath and it hurts.
Oh. You'll have to wear your pasties at all time, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I guarantee you we'll be updating you more on Saudi Arabia and marijuana as time goes on.
Fuck that councilman.
I'm waiting until we get to
Please
that.
do not vote him in again next election.
Fuck sakes.
I'm just waiting until we get to that that story that I really want to talk about.
Which one?
Oh, we already know. But we'll wait for that because it's the big finale.
Oh, the Manafort thing?
Yeah, Jacqueline, I was trying
I wasn't even going to talk about it, to be honest, but we can, I guess.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, we don't have to.
Well, we can. Whatever, we'll see. let's talk. You want to talk about the Kill a Mockingbird thing?
I mean, it's stupid as shit. Like, fuck people and their feelings. Like, fuck you, you're dumb.
So a school board, just a school board. It wasn't even the whole state in Mississippi, in Biloxi. In back, I guess, a month ago or so, they sent out a letter saying they were never going to use the To Kill a Mockingbird again in its school curriculum. They use it for grade 8s there. I read it in grade 9. They said they were taking it out because people were uncomfortable with the language. They use the N-word a lot. Remember, someone is raped.
Yeah.
Accuses a black person of rape in the book. I mean, isn't that the best books make you uncomfortable because they're teaching you a lesson?
No. Not nowadays, no. The best books are the ones that make you feel special and feel important and feel like everything is fucking A-okay in the world and nothing bad ever happened.
I will tell you, the books I read in high school, I remember at the time being like, oh my god, this is going to be so stupid. I love them to this day. I mean, freaking Lord of the Flies. Are we going to, get rid of that because it's got pig rape with a fucking spear?
Yeah.
Are we going to stop reading Brave New World, 1984?
Well, no.
The Apprenticeship of Denny Kravitz? Like, come on.
You can't take Orwell out of any equation because that's their fucking textbook now.
That's what we're living.
Yeah, well, that's what people want to fucking portray, but it's just... I don't even know how to fucking say this without coming off like a complete fucking asshole, but whatever. Like, that's par for my course, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck you. It's just words. If words hurt you so fucking bad, then no offense, just go fuck off and die in the woods.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, your fucking feelings and emotions on a word. I mean, yeah, okay, the N-word, it's very problematic. Okay, fuck, cool, I get it. Shut the fuck up. It's a word. Your emotion, your reaction is what gives it power.
If I wrote a book in the South in that time when To Kill a Mockingbird is set, and I never once used the N-word, people would then say it's not authentic, correct?
There you go.
I mean, it wouldn't feel authentic. And I'm not saying that we should be I'm against the N-word. 100% against the N-word. But it's like, this is a book that was around and it was authentic to its time. We're not going to go back and start censoring Shakespeare. We're not going to go back and censor these great classic books.
Oh my god, yeah.
But the ridiculous thing is now they're saying that, so they're no longer banning the book. It's still available in the library. And kids can be in a... so stupid. They can choose to join kind of like an after school and lunchtime participation to read the book and discuss it on their own. Like any grade 8 kid is going to take the time to be in a book club.
Well, someone has to hold their hand and tell them that these big scary words won't hurt them. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens when you allow your kids to grow up to be little fucking wusses that they have never faced or seen adversity. You know what I mean? Like, this is the dumbing down of our youth.
People better not read Blubber by Judy Blume, because I don't know if you guys ever read that as a kid. When I read that back in the 70s, well, I guess it was probably the early 80s. I read that. They were bullying a fat girl, and they were mean as shit to her. And some of the stuff they say to her is incredibly cruel. And I mean, I'm surprised that hasn't been burned to the ground.
Oh, it will.
Blubber? Isn't that
Blubber.
the movie with
Robin Williams?
Robert Williams?
That's Flubber,
Robbie
you
Williams.
crazy bitch.
Oh, sorry. Blubber. Well, if you're offended, okay. All right. The N-word is not a pretty word to use. I agree.
No.
It's not a word that I like to hear either. But I will say this. It was the reality of what some people faced back in that time. To erase that is then not protecting yourselves from what really happened. You know what I mean? Like, this happened. Like, we can't erase. I feel like we're trying to erase history from happening, but you can't. Like, some people are still alive enough to remember. What do you mean? Like, Katherine Johnson from NASA is still alive. She still remembers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't erase these things. These things are real.
When we start taking this out and being like, this was used, like, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, it was used back then. That's a realism. If you take that out and whitewash away the horrible things, we forget. Then, when we see, next we're not going to have a movie like 12 Years a Slave. based on a book from that time where the guy was a slave and was called the N-word on, an hourly basis, minutely basis down there. Come on.
But even just simplified to the terms, there's this book that I read, and it's going to be turned into a movie. If people feel so fat shamed and they're against fat shaming, are we gonna stop that movie from being?
It's crazy. I just think that really honestly, the best books that really stick with you and make you think have awful language in them, and it's not nice to read, but that's why.
Nobody is saying we agree with the language.
I kind of always say that too.
It's the truth.
You only give power to a word, right? Exactly. A word is a word.
Your reaction to a certain word is what gives that word any kind of fucking meaning.
Yeah. That's why you can call me a bitch, a whore, the C word, whatever. I don't care.
And that's the other thing too. Every fucking insult denigrates some fucking group of people. There's only one insult that I know of that doesn't have any kind of negative connotation towards a certain group of people, and that's stupid. Every other fucking insult calls down an entire sect of people.
Yeah.
So what? So you're saying that we can't insult each other because words hurt? Fuck out of here. Words don't hurt. You not being able to control your fucking emotions is your own fucking deal. Like, flat out.
Well, people forgot about the old sticks and stones, right?
Well, no, because words are violence. Fuck out of here.
Well, that's it. It was like, remember I told you that story when I was down east and the car was going to get towed, and the tow truck driver called her honey and darling or sweetheart or something, and she said she was sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I grew up with when PC culture really wasn't a thing, right? So me and my friends always say, oh, well, that's gay. Oh, that's gay. That's gay. Yeah. Never trying to call down the fucking gay community. It was just that was the word we were supposed to use when something was kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody go, well, no, you shouldn't say gay. What you say is that's lame. And I looked at them like, oh, so I can't use a word for homosexuals, but I can call down everyone that can't use their fucking legs?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, well, lame's a fucking term that refers to people that can't use their fucking legs. So what is it? Am I homophobic or am I ableist? Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Getting offended.
Yeah, I remember I used to always use the term, I told Ryan this too, I used to always say that's gay, and I really worked a long time to get myself to not say that, because it was like I realized I didn't think about it, right? I only knew some gay people casually. I wasn't close friends to them. But I just start to think about it. I'm like, that is kind of like, the first time I heard it, I'm like, that is kind of mean. Why am I saying it like that? So I worked hard to not do it.
It's just so fucking stupid. And it's fair, it almost seems like we're trying to erase history.
Yeah.
Because people just, again, they can't control their fucking feelings.
Yeah.
And let's not fucking lie to ourselves here. These white fucking kids feel so fucking guilty about the fact that people that look like them did some fucking shady shit 100 years ago. Or, if we're going to read a book or watch a movie about gay civil rights or, somebody's life growing up gay, that they're going to be called all these horrible words. Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That's the truth of it. Humans are horrible. We call each other names and we're cruel to each other, and that's sadly the truth of it.
But it's also about go ahead, sorry.
Just being able to insult one another, though, it's human fucking nature.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is. We all insult one another, and for me personally, taking that away kind of strips us of a right, as far as I'm concerned. We have the right to get mad at each other and to call each other fucking names.
Absolutely.
I believe that calling each other names is a big step up from violence. Like if I can just get my point across by calling you a few bad names, and you can get your point across by calling me a few bad names, we both feel vindicated that we kind of expressed our fucking views, and we go along with our fucking
You don't need to, put the boots to somebody.
Right? But this strips us of that. I just find it's all these sniveling little fucking brats that can't control themselves.
Sniveling idiots. So the lady that plays Betty on Riverdale, Lily Reinhart, she tweeted a photo. Now it's not her in the photo. She saw it on Pinterest and she thought it looked really cool. It's a woman who's dressed up as a demon, and she's everything from her head to toe is black. Her skin is black, her face is black, her hair has been black. Now she's not a black person, I don't think. I think she's a white person, but she's fully painted black.
Yeah.
She shared it and thought it was a pretty cool costume and thought about being it for Halloween. And immediately people started coming at her saying that it was blackface and it's racist and they shouldn't be doing it. What I find hysterical, though, and I thought about it too, and then I saw somebody commented, black people came out and been like, this isn't blackface, and how dare you assume that a demon is equivalent to a black person?
Right? It's like, that's racist. Like, you're being fucking racist with your stupid fucking white guilt. You're making this a racist fucking thing. Because these idiots have to be on the fucking forefront of this social justice fucking nonsense. Oh, I can't.
And that's the thing they're saying. Like,
stand it.
They're not being a person. She's not being a person.
No.
In blackface, they're not. It's not freaking Crazy Eyes from, like they said in the article. It's not Crazy Eyes from Orange Is the New Black. They're not being Janet Jackson or Damon Wayans or anybody. They're being a demon, and to equate black people to demons
shows that you're a fucking racist.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what if you wanted to be a panther? What if you want to be a bat? What if you want to be the Grim Reaper?
Yeah. No, you're not allowed.
Right?
You're white. You're not allowed to do it.
I like that these black people came and schooled these dumb white people.
Yeah, same here.
Jesus Christ. That's what we needed. But
again,
she still apologized. Lily Reinhart apologized because she was worried, of course, that she had offended people, right?
Yeah.
I wish she had waited a bit and saw that all these black people were like, no, it's not racist. And she could have been like, I didn't do anything racist. Shut up.
But you still can't. We live in such a weird fucking time with this fucking shit. Like, it's so dumb. Everyone's so willing to just jump down everyone's fucking throat for perceived fucking racism. Nothing racist ever fucking happened. But they're just so ready to jump down your throat and demonize you for the stupidest fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking demon. It's there's that thing they do, I believe it's in Norway, Black Adam. It's part of their Christmas celebrations.
Yeah.
Where, essentially it's blackface. They're not making fun of Africans. It's got nothing to do with African Americans or anything like that. And you have these fucking, these suburban white fucking Americans talking shit about it because it may or may not be offensive to fucking idiots. No one cares. No one fucking cares about your stupid fucking ass. Like, shut the fuck up. Go back to your fucking Starbucks and reading fucking Nietzsche and shit. No one fucking
unicorn
cares.
Fucking frappuccino.
Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Go.
Because you're making this planet worse. You're distracting from real talks about racism.
Right.
This is the issue. We all know 100% there's still racism in the world. Not just in America, not just in Canada, in the world. There's racism. And with all these stupid little fucking waste of times about a demon in fucking blackface, you're wasting time and distracting from real things, Idiots. Absolute idiots.
It's also they can feel special, and I've said this before. Young people especially, love feeling that they are on the forefront. That they are really making a difference. That whatever the fuck it is, their fucking underwater feminist basket weaving fucking college professors is teaching them. There's something real to it. There's validity to it, but there isn't. You guys are creating
I'm sure
problems.
The first person who tweeted to Lily Reinhart thought they were so fucking, I'm just like the most fucking woke person, and I'm going to teach this celebrity that she's doing something horrible to the poor black people of America.
No. You are fucking being a racist. Like, that's kind of how I look at a lot of this is, when these white people speak up in terms of, like, helping the blacks, it's you're saying that they're too weak to do it on their own.
Yeah.
That they don't have what it takes to speak with their own fucking voices and shit like that. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Like, you're keeping them down just as much as you're bitching at everyone else is fucking keeping them down. Just shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Let people live their fucking lives.
You're not the white savior, ho, okay? Shut the fuck up.
I hate people. Okay. I can't stand fucking people. This shit is some of the most infuriating stuff like I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
And it goes everywhere. Like, it's this whole topic is just so all encompassing nowadays, and it's
everywhere. You're right. It's everywhere.
Aggravating. It's so aggravating. Yes, I get it. Bad shit fucking happened at the hands of fucking white people to pretty much every fucking colored person.
Nobody denies that slavery happened. This is not Holocaust deniers.
Exactly.
Nobody denies that it happened.
Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of that shit gets... when somebody tries to argue against this stuff, you're always going to come off as racist.
Yeah.
Right? And I see it all the time online. You know, somebody brings up the fact that, you know, white slave owners in the South, and then somebody will say, oh, but what about the, you know, the African slave trade that still happens? Oh, well, that's just racist. You bringing that up is racist. Well, it's not. Just shut up.
It's also a viable part of the history, yes.
That's the thing. If you
one doesn't excuse the other.
Excuse me. That's kind of my point, though.
Yeah.
Is that this shit just is, it's pretty much become a fucking witch hunt.
Yeah.
Which is fine, whatever. Like, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't offend me. It doesn't hurt my fucking feelings. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, white people did some bad fucking shit in the past. Hoopty fucking ding dong. Name me a fucking civilization that was built without bad shit fucking happening.
Yeah.
You can't do it. So, like, go fuck yourself. Like, jump off a cliff. I don't give a shit. But this shit just, it fucking ruins the dialogue. Because now you're coming at it from a place of victimhood. And, like, yeah, you might be a singular victim of a racist act. Somebody might have called you a name. Somebody might have, I actually seen this the other day, somebody drove past a woman and threw a fucking piece of fried chicken into her car.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's racist as fuck.
Why waste a good piece of fried chicken, you idiot?
That's kind of what I thought, but it might have been from KFC, and if it was from KFC, fuck it work. But you know what I mean? That's racist, but that's anecdotal. That's a singular event, you know? It doesn't mean that every fucking person that may or may not look like the person that did that is a fucking racist.
Exactly. We can't say, oh, I see a black person down the street, I'm going to hold my purse closer and cross the street. You know, that's ridiculous. I can't judge every black person by one black rapist, right?
No.
It's the same thing. What were you going to say, Ryan?
No, I was going to say that I think people are just so sensitive to everything. Like, you know, for me, as a person of a minority group, like if somebody were to be like, oh, I want to be like Chun-Li, or I want to be like, I don't know, Mulan for Halloween.
Yeah.
And you're not racist. Not.
Oh, Ryan, you cut out. I can't hear you.
Hello.
There it is.
We lost. But basically, I think you were saying if you want to dress up as Moana or Mulan, if you're not Asian, then people consider it appropriation, right?
Problematic. Which I don't agree with. I don't agree with at all. I'm sorry. Like, I refuse, and I mean I absolutely fucking refuse to be held to the standard of people that lived hundreds of years before I was born. I did not commit those atrocities. I might be related to some of these assholes.
Yeah.
Don't mean
I'm
shit
not
to me.
richer from it. Trust me. Whatever wealth I've accumulated in my life is not from slavery. I'm poor as shit. Well, I guess I shouldn't say poor. There's people worse than me. But I mean, I've not. The only thing I can say is I have profited from just my accidental birth of being white, right?
But again,
that hasn't even really helped me. I work low-end jobs.
That's situational, though, because if you were born white in Uganda, you really think you'd have an upper fucking foot?
Maybe they look at white people and think you're better. A lot of places, being white is the ideal, right? And they think, oh, that's awesome.
Not everywhere, you know. And I understand that, you know, a lot of people are trying to pitch that narrative real fucking hard, but that is not the truth of the world. When you are born the majority in a country that, you know, that your majority represents, then shit's gonna sway a little bit more in your fucking favor. It's a fact of life. You know, tribalism isn't something that we invented. Tribalism is in our fucking DNA. Like it is.
No, they've done tests on babies, and babies even at like 3, 4, 5 months, they get us versus them.
Exactly. It's not. It's a quantifiable fucking thing. Yeah. So it's just so fucking dumb. And then through the guilt of that, and I mean, again, if you have any type of empathy, you do start to feel guilty. You do.
It's horrible. You feel bad. You watch these stories, and you know, who cannot be moved by the fact of all these people that were thrown in the freaking Middle Passage to drown, or people that had their babies ripped away from them and sold. You know,
that sucks. I don't feel good about that. You know, it's not like, it's not something that I fucking brag about or anything like that. But at the same point in time, it fucking happened. There's nothing we can do. No amount of reparations, no amount of fucking, like, nothing will fucking help. The only thing that'll help is if we all just shut the fuck up about it and just go on with our fucking lives.
And, like, let's not I don't like the idea. Like, there's a lot of history that's being whitewashed. Like, do you see the story about where a lot of these history books are calling the slaves immigrants?
The who?
The slaves. They're like, immigrants came to this country, and they're like from Africa, and they're showing the slaves, and
Yeah.
they're calling them immigrants.
Yeah. I
They're
mean,
not
I can see how that's an
immigrants.
issue.
But those aren't immigrants.
No, that's why, we have to be like, as much as we don't like to dwell on things, right? And you're right, we need to move past it when we can. If we don't watch for certain things, right? We let the stupid people run the world. They're freaking changing history books or fucking taking out To Kill a Mockingbird out of the fucking curriculum, Anyway,
Yeah, it's dumb. It's stupid.
we're not going to solve racism and fucking world history issues, but if we forget about, what's the old saying? If you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Well, pretty much.
Yep.
But if we
Yeah.
keep allowing, history to be censored because it might fucking
Yeah.
hurt somebody's feelings, then guess what's gonna happen, people?
Exactly.
But whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Okay. I want to talk about this one, then we can talk about Ryan's story. We had the judge last year that in Canada that asked the victim of a sexual assault why she didn't keep her knees together. Which is horrible. We've seen some cases in America where the judges have said horrible things to sexual assault victims. Well, here's another case. Quebec Justice Minister is filing a complaint against a Montreal judge. What's his name? Justice Jean-Paul Braun. He made these comments during a trial last May. A 17-year-old girl was in court for a sexual assault case, and the judge implied that she was happy that a taxi driver that sexually assaulted her had flirted with her. That she liked the attention because she was a bit chubby. And he also said that, this is the quote, "a little heavy, but she has a pretty face." It's a judge in open court saying this.
Oh, fuck's sakes, that's fucked up.
That is so beyond fucked up.
I should be laughing, but that's fucked.
Well, because it's incredulous. You're just like,
Oh
I
my
can't believe
God.
somebody who went to fucking law school, and obviously you've been a lawyer for a long time to get appointed to become a judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You think you know how to talk in court? Are you kidding me? Can you imagine this poor girl got, sexually assaulted by a taxi driver, and then, this judge is now continuing to
No,
assault
she
her.
liked it. She liked being
Yeah.
sexually assaulted.
Fat girls
Sick.
love to be assaulted because it's the only attention they get, right?
Oh, god damn. Just hearing that, though, it doesn't surprise me that it comes from Quebec. It really doesn't surprise me that that's a Quebecer's fucking standpoint. Fuck's sakes.
Well, the judge about the knees together was from Alberta, so
Again, not a fucking surprise. Not a surprise to me whatsoever.
But how is this? Oh my God!
isn't it crazy? Like, can you imagine?
I'm literally like, I just hope I'm speechless, and I'm never
Yeah.
speechless. But
No, when I read that, I was like, "Are you kidding me? I just can't believe that somebody would say that in this day and age." Ugh.
oh my
Whatever.
God, who says that?
Okay, so let's talk. Big news today. Now, last week we were told that Robert Mueller, who is investigating the links to Russia and the Russia tampering with the action and all that stuff, they were close to making some arrests this week. They were going to lay down some indictments. So this morning, they told Paul Manafort, who used to be 45's campaign chairman, and Paul Manafort's business associate, Rick Gates, to surrender to authorities. Now, I know Manafort has gone to the police station or wherever he's gone to. He's turned himself in. I don't know about Gates yet. But this is number 1. 1 and 2. What do you think, Ryan?
Because it's not 45.
No.
It's,
No.
know what else proof people were looking for? That there was some sort of collusion or colluding or some sort of what what do you call that, workings within the Trump campaign that were working with the Russians. This is the proof, right? The proof is in the pudding. Like when there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. Look,
That's what we're all looking for.
we've had Kushner come out and 45 Jr. come out and admit to meeting with the Russians. Manafort, I guess they were able to track the money. That's the issue.
Yep.
He's got money hidden in other Cyprus bank accounts, and he took money from not even just Russian people, from many different people around the world. He took money.
But I mean, the private emails are also, I think, like the hackers. I think there's private emails between Trump Jr., Kushner, and all these. And all these people. I mean, he's the president. We can't change that, right? He's the sitting president now of the United States, and that we cannot change. What we can do now, and every Democrat should be, my God, hopefully the Democrats get smarter, is now you can use this against him when he runs for re-election come to 2020.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and now you can use, or rather 2019, you can now use this against him. And now we can finally, hopefully, gain the trust back of the people and get rid of this horrific president.
Well, we'll see. There. I think he's probably just going to, grant him, what's the word? Pardon, yeah. And I don't know. Will it affect 45? I don't think it's going to. For some reason, the shit doesn't stick to him.
What is he, the Teflon Don now?
I guess. Because it just, no matter what they do, the shit. I mean, look, we all heard the pussy tape, right? Mm-hmm. That didn't change anything.
It changed Billy Bush's career.
If not, well, that's the only person that got the fallout. Think about it. He probably got even more. There were women at his rallies wearing "Grab My Pussy, Trump."
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens. I really kind of do hope that we get Don Jr. and Kushner kind of implicated in this too. I'd love to see that they took money.
But why do you think...
I don't think we're going to see that.
But why do you think the people being the people who voted, are going to be anchored by this? Like, this is someone literally fucking with the democratic voting system that we have.
People don't seem to care. I mean, we've been talking about this since the very beginning of his presidency, and people don't care that Russia literally interfered in an American election. People don't care. The only people that care are the ones that were already against him. People that are for him, doesn't matter. Didn't really change anything.
It's also with how these hacks, and I hate using that term because it wasn't a hack, took place. Having people on Facebook starting fights about politics is not illegal. Even if the Trumps had their fucking hands in it, even if they paid people to go create discourse online, no laws were broken.
Yeah.
Right? So even if they can prove it, what happens? Nothing can happen because no laws were broken. I hear a lot of people... Yeah, that's
the thing. It wasn't a hack. It's just like they got in there and they bought ads and they made memes and they made articles and people fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
It's not his fault that the Russians, and I mean, I'm still not even sure that it was Russians, and I'm one of these kind of deniers of this whole thing. I really am, because without proof, I don't believe shit. But all they did was they created a bunch of fucking memes that meant nothing, that were just inflammatory, and just threw them up around Facebook and Twitter and shit like that, and just let the fucking fallout happen.
Yeah.
And
they made these ridiculous, like the fucking Hillary Clinton's child pizza.
Oh yeah, the fucking
trafficking.
Pizzagate.
Oh my god! And how many people literally still talk about that to this day? You still see that pop up in articles or comment sections.
And you look at it like most conspiracy theorists and shit like that do tend to fall on the right side of the political spectrum. So they ate that shit up, hook, line, and fucking sinker. Like, that's what they live for. They live for these weird conspiracies and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, they pray that there's that boogeyman out there, false flag attacks, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, that one thing that sticks. But my whole thing is like, I don't know what else proof people are looking for the American people. What else proof you're looking for? That, you know what? I just want the next 4 years to, like, fly fucking by. This one's already almost over. I need to wake up from this nightmare, and I don't want to have to see or hear that name again as being the president of the United States. I'm meaning 45. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately for you, it's going to be 7 years.
Well, I mean, it's a huge reality that can also happen, but we'll see what's gonna happen.
Me and
I
Jacqueline,
don't know if
sorry, but we talked about this a little while ago, just while we were off air, and it's fair. There's nobody really on the Democratic side that
No.
either of us could really agree on
yeah,
that
Yeah.
could unify the entire party to actually get
that's
him out.
the problem. Like,
Right.
there's no huge name right now that we're
No.
all kind of going, oh my god, that's people keep saying, oh, Warren. I don't think Elizabeth Warren,
Mhm.
has any interest in running. For
No, I
the
love her, but I don't
presidency.
think she's the person. She's
Yeah.
not.
People are saying maybe Governor Cuomo of the governor of New York.
Mhm.
I don't think he's, maybe, sure, kind of, but I don't, I also don't think so either. So
You guys are in a pickle.
yeah,
You're-
there's nobody on the how do you say this, on the Democratic side who's
No.
All you can
interesting.
hope for is that when Trump changes the law to make you be able to run for president as many times as you want,
Huh.
Obama comes back.
See, but that's the
Oh
thing,
my
though.
God, that'd be
I couldn't see him doing that because that's a real fucking, like, that could really happen, and he'll lose. He'll fucking lose. Like,
Yeah.
People still love Obama.
Oh yeah, that guy was a fucking. Again, I wasn't the biggest fan of everything he did, but that guy was a
No.
PR fucking dream.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that guy made me love the states.
Yeah.
He was, the thing is too, like that was a godsend to the Democrats. Like, he was a
Mhm.
clean cut guy, right? Nothing major about it. There was no pussy. There was no cigarettes in the vagina. There was
No,
No.
we've never to this point gotten a real scandal from Obama.
from Obama,
No.
and almost every president has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Obama doesn't have that yet. We should maybe use that word.
Yeah.
Yet.
As of today, there's no scandal we're aware of.
Maybe tomorrow, but today no.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the Republicans would love to find one.
Oh, of course. Of course. I mean, look at how
That
hard they
was their
tried to push
biggest-
that Kenya thing.
Yeah.
Issue, right, was Hillary Clinton was a tampered name already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't a good thing.
Yeah. Well, they were anti-Hillary, not even just because of her husband, but because remember back in the 90s, she tried to make universal health care then. And they, Republicans hate that. And she was a woman who spoke her mind. She didn't just do little, charities, just say no campaign. She was doing like real political work.
I think people forget that she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I really do believe people forget that she's a lawyer and that she went to law school and that she was, she did things.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think
she was
people
working
would
with
believe that.
handicap
People
and
would
children
remember
of
that.
color and poor people for years and years.
I don't know. There's just a big problem with the states right now, especially within regards to politics, and I don't think there's any real short answer to it.
Mhm.
I
No.
don't think there's any quick fix. I don't think you guys have a savior kind of lurking around in politics.
They need to find somebody, whether it's a Democrat or a conservative,
Mhm.
but they kind of need to be a little more center so that you can
Yes.
bring in
Yes,
people from both sides. Because right now it's so divided. So
everything is
nobody's
closest
willing to
thing
work
we have-
together.
The closest thing we have to that is John Kasich.
I loved Kasich.
Yeah, I like
I
him. He seems like a decent
Fucking
guy.
loved Kasich because I paid attention a lot to the last American election, and it's just so unfortunate that man didn't get to speak. That
No.
guy's brilliant. He would have been a fucking top tier president. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other issue is it's changed, and I said this before about how there's no level of real political discourse anymore. Nobody can talk about the issues. It's smear campaigns.
Yeah.
And it's like that here right now. We're in the midst
That's
of
what
an
I
election,
hate, that shit.
right? And all our political ads are always just smear campaigns. That's all they are.
Remember they did but the last 10 years, that's how they started. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, and because no one's getting to anything.
Yeah.
you never hear any of the issues. You never hear shit. It's just rhetoric. It's just bashing
Yeah.
the other fucking candidate. And I kind of think that's where in the next U.S. election where both sides, because I really do hope the Republicans challenge his presidency. I really do. I hope they do. I really hope they don't just allow him to take the second term to run as the Republican nominee.
Roll over. Yeah.
You know, I really hope they challenge him and throw somebody else up there in the ring, because it's true. Like, the Republicans are in, so I mean, it kind of gives them a leg up already, and I could kind of see most Republicans voting for a different one than him. I really could.
Yeah, if they really thought that there was a chance for somebody to beat him, I think almost every single Republican would jump.
Yeah,
ship.
same here. You know,
because they don't want. I mean, they're only working with him because he's got the power and they can get their laws passed.
Exactly.
They're trying to get their laws
exactly.
passed. They don't like him.
No.
I mean, how many times does Paul Ryan have to say he doesn't like any of the things that Trump says or does? He's, you know, Paul Ryan is a fucking super religious guy. He doesn't like people that grab people by their pussies. You know?
Well, no, not unless they wear a black suit and a white collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, whatever. That's a different topic.
But yeah, I mean, they would jump ship if they had a real viable chance, for sure. The rats always leave a sinking ship, right?
Yep. It's funny because when you really do look back at that last election, I mean, it was a circus. You know, they had that show on HBO, The Circus, and I watched it a lot, and I kept thinking, like, no, this shit is a fucking circus. Like, there's nothing real's happening. This is all just bullshit.
Well, this is like the peak of cult of celebrity, right?
Yeah.
You've got Donald Trump, a reality star and kind of, you know, a known person from being in the real estate business and stuff. And just that's it. People just like, oh, we got our politics aren't politics. Our politics are, you know, reality show.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Still more people, you know, tune in and voted on American Idol or The Voice than voted for president. So
but there it is, though, like with all like the gerrymandering and shit like that they do. The Democrats got to start fighting with that same fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If what you have to do, and I mean, this is kind of a fucking weird statement to say, but if you have to get up and move and go register to vote in a different fucking like area, you know what I mean? Because the Electoral College, do it. Do it.
Well, that's part of the problem, right? The Democrats, if you're a Democrat, you tend to live in a city or close to a city. You're not living in middle America, and so there's no chance for you to get those votes in.
There it is, right? And I mean, for me personally, I am a fan of the Electoral College, or even how we have here with the MP seats, because it allows the entire country to have a voice, and it's not just the most populated areas dictating the direction of a country, which to me is fair. Like that's how democracy should be. You know, we should all have a voice.
Yeah.
But again, with the gerrymandering and shit like that, like it doesn't really work there. So something has to be done.
How these freaking states are like making it harder for people of color, really people of color and poor people, marginalized people to vote. Yeah. Right? You know, you got people who can't afford to pay a $20 parking ticket and end up in jail. Do you really think they can afford a government ID?
Yeah.
You know?
I can't remember who I was listening to, but somebody was saying something. I want to say it was like Steven Crowder, but I don't know if that was it. But something about like signing up for the draft in the U.S. at 18, like make that mandatory throughout everybody. And then the moment you do that, you get a government piece of ID that essentially allows you to vote.
Well,
right there,
smart.
that would you know, that would take that issue away. I know a lot of people won't want to do that because they don't want to sign up for a draft, which I guess is fair.
The draft is never coming again, not in this day
and age. No, hell no.
Not when they got drones that can kill.
Exactly, we don't need that type of ground force. But I kind of like that because again, then it takes away a lot of that shit. Right?
You've got a government ID that they have to accept. And that's the thing, they've got these like certain states have laws like which government ID they'll take. It's not just, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, I know people in Canada that don't have proper ID.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel bad. And then they make these weird, like the gerrymander and some of these freaking weird. I mean, here, most of our ridings, we call them ridings, they're square, rectangular. Maybe you've got a little bit of a weird shape because you're on a lake or something, right?
Yeah.
these are like, you know, swirls of fucking voting spots, and just it's crazy shit.
Oh yeah, they
that
make no
come up
sense.
with.
Yeah, they make no
Yeah.
sense.
They need to change the gerrymandering laws. Let a computer set up the algorithms to make it fair.
Yep.
And you
But I
know,
think a lot of that, though, again, I don't remember who the hell I was listening to, but they said a lot of that had to do with quote unquote white flight,
yeah,
right? That these neighborhoods, these ridings, whatever that you want to call them, at one point were, let's say, Republican, but due to I don't know what like reverse gentrification would be called, but
yeah, white flight.
white flight essentially.
Yeah.
They had to start broadening the area, I guess.
Or it'd be too democratic. But that's the thing. That's the neighborhood. Sorry, you have all the other, you know, where your white people are now flocking to are going to vote conservative.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's an odd thing. And I mean, again, I never even really knew about this until a little while ago because, you know, just never really, it didn't affect my life.
And the government in control gets to set up. It's not done by an unbiased party.
Yeah.
It's the government in control that gets to set up these electorals, and that's what's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, and they make it hard. I mean, there's not as many open election spots, so people. I mean, when I look at the lineups of people voting on election day, that can't even process my mind, because when I go in to vote every time, I'm in like maybe a 3-person line.
Yeah, same here.
You know, I've never been in a lineup that was more than 10 people to vote, and then you see like dozens and dozens of people. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you've got so many more schools and churches and gyms and community centers that this could be held in.
Yep. No, it's true.
You know? People volunteer for this stuff.
Because like ever since I've been able to vote, which has only been 10 years, but I mean, surprisingly enough, that's been 4 federal elections for me. Fucking, you know, it's in and out. I walk up to the school.
And it's within walking distance. Yeah, it's always within walking distance in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're out in the country,
yeah,
it might be different.
I mean, for me, it's easy as hell. I just jump my back fence. I'm right at my voting station, right? So
yeah, I mean, I used to go to the school where Logan and Marley went to school, so I picked them up and vote.
Yeah.
Now they've changed it. It's a little church. It's a church, but it's still within a less than 10-minute walk away.
But it's kind of...
I don't know. I don't get
it. It kind of makes me laugh, though. And as horrible as it is, the hoops and jumps that the governments will go through to make it hard to vote. Like, to me, that's just so funny.
That they don't want voter turnout.
Right?
And they don't want people to be educated, because the more you turn out and the more you educate,
the less likely
they're not going to vote for you. They
go.
realize how stupid you are.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fair, like you said. Like it's the controlling government gets to set the electorals, right?
Yeah.
Which is stupid. It should be third party.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But in the U.S., as far as I've ever seen or heard, you can't have a third party because of lobbyists.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a fucked if you do, fucked if you don't kind of scenario.
That's the worst part. These fucking lobbyists and these so much of the government, because they fucking buy their votes.
Oh, when you're sitting there on like a $3 trillion hedge fund, you know, you can start throwing fucking all kinds of money around.
Yeah.
And, you know, money talks. I don't know. This whole thing's interesting. Like, it's interesting as shit. It's the fun topic to talk about, especially when you get people that are on different sides of it.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's fun because, you know, me, I do kind of like confrontation and conflict.
Well, the good thing is you and I are lucky that we don't live in that country right now.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Being an outsider looking in is great. I couldn't imagine what it's actually like for Ryan or even a couple of my other American friends.
Yeah.
You know, I know a few young people in the States that they don't really pay attention. So, like, to me, like, that would be the best course of action, almost, like, to just kind of...
Yeah, I have a friend, Casey. Ryan knows Casey. And, I mean, this is a guy who's just a couple years older than me. He lives in West Virginia, and we're talking about one of the poorest states in America.
Yeah.
And he does not care about politics. He doesn't vote. I mean, Justin and I were like, Casey, go out and vote, you know, and he doesn't care. He doesn't register.
A lot of people in the United States don't care. That's
in Canada as well. Like, don't kid yourself,
absolutely.
Right? We only have, like, if we're lucky, we get 65% turnout.
Yeah.
Well, that's in almost any country, but, you know, in the United States, a lot of people, they don't care, because to them it doesn't affect their, in their heads, rather.
Yeah.
They feel like it doesn't affect their lives, and it's like, yeah, it does. You know, and but
it does.
if you don't, to me, if you don't vote, you don't get to complain.
Yeah.
You don't get to complain.
Well, I just think about countries in the world where you don't get to vote.
Yeah,
Male
exactly.
or female. There's countries where you have a dictator and that's who it is, and you don't have a choice. So
Yep.
why would you waste your vote? People are dying to vote.
Right, democracy is
Literally
where it's
dying.
at. Like that's where it's at.
Yeah.
The best countries on earth are democratic for a fucking reason. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it's just happenstance. Like we chose
Yeah.
this life because we know this is a fucking system that works.
Exactly. It's not perfect, but it works.
Exactly. There's no political system that's fucking perfect though.
No.
You know, and it's the thing that really pisses me off about this rise of fucking communism. Because they keep saying that it's perfect. It's a perfect political. No, it's not. It's not perfect. The moment you say any political system is perfect, I throw it out the fucking window.
Tell that to USSR and to Cuba. It's been
Or
perfect.
Venezuela,
right?
because everything is going swimmingly in fucking Venezuela right now. But whatever,
Yeah.
that's besides
Yeah.
the point. The point I was trying to make is that there's no political system that's perfect,
No.
right? And the moment you
No.
start saying that it is, to me, it ruins all validity. Right?
Yeah.
Politics is messy because you're not just dealing on an individual stance. You're dealing with everybody and everybody's wants.
Everybody wants a voice, right? And so, like, okay, yeah, now we're gonna make this the law,
Mhm.
but then there's a huge group of people who are like, I don't agree with that law,
Mhm.
right? You got to make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. No one's happy.
You cannot. But that's the thing with politics.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a one size fits all kind of deal, and it'll never be a one size fits all kind of deal. It's messy. It's a real messy thing, but you know.
Messy.
They turned it into a joke down south for the last year.
Oh, it's crazy. I just honestly, like, it blows my mind that 45 got elected. I know it happened. It's been almost a year. It's still, I
knew it was going to
I'm
happen.
incredulous that people, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was always a possibility, but I just can't believe that people would vote for somebody like that. I guess it's just because my ideas and opinions and
Mhm.
beliefs are so opposite
Yeah.
of his that I just can't believe that there was that many people in the world that, or in America, that would be like, yeah, that sounds swell. And 7,000 votes, really. She lost by 7,000 electoral votes.
Yeah. Which isn't a lot. That's
people that had previously voted for Obama didn't turn out.
Well, that's the other thing, and it really fucked them up, is that a lot of people thought she was such a fucking shoo-in, they just did not turn out to vote.
Yeah.
You know, and it's,
or they believed the hype and didn't trust her.
And I mean, but that's fair. You have every right to not trust her. You have every fucking right to.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I mean, you don't trust Hillary, but you were okay with Trump. I don't get it.
I hear you. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of his. I'm not. I might be a Republican supporter. I am very right-leaning within myself and my own personal politics, but I do not support that fucking man. I think he's wildly fucking dangerous. I think most people who would agree with that.
Know anything? That's the problem. And the guy's been in the job a year and he still doesn't know shit.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the only way that they're going to get him out, because unfortunately, impeachment's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You have literally nothing on him. Nothing.
No.
You know, his comments, his pussy grabbing comments. Again, I personally believe were fucking blown out of proportion when you actually listen to what he fucking said. You know, it was still wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say it was right, but it was wrong. What he said was they allow you to. That's a big difference than, I just walk around the street, grab women by the vagina.
Well, but the other part that went with it was where he just says he kisses women without their permission.
See, that's sexual assault. And the fact that, you know, he's saying that as a married man, saying that he continues to do that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, with the ultra-religious, you know, Americans, you know, you'd figure adultery would be a big fucking,
they don't care.
But
they'll
they don't
sell
give a
their
shit.
Fucking souls to the devil.
Right. And again, I think a lot of it, too, had to deal with how fervent people were with throwing Obama in the Republicans' faces.
Yeah.
Right. So this gave them their kind of their come-ups, you know, and as a society, we're about that. We're about that fucking, you did it to me, now look what I can do to you.
Exactly.
You know? So there's also that issue. I mean, again, it's different how me and you look at it because we're outsiders looking in.
Yeah.
Right. It affects us. Like, don't get me wrong. It absolutely affects Canada, but not in the sense of how it affects the States.
Well, the problem is Canada, for whatever reason, loves to echo the United States.
Yeah, we do.
Right? So we had our quote-unquote Obama with Justin Trudeau, right? Mm-hmm. And now my worry is that we're going to end up with some horrible Trump-like person. At least it's not going to be that guy from Dragon's Den.
Oh, yeah. The issue, though, like that I find, and I mean, it kind of sucks. I voted against Harper. Out of, you know, my better judgment, I guess. I just didn't like his identity politics at that time, so I decided I'd go the other side. But now, because of who we have running the fucking show down south, I feel like our leader isn't strong enough. I personally now feel like we're going to be taken to the fucking cleaners because we have a leader that doesn't really have the backbone that I think we need right now as a nation to combat with the fucking foolishness of this idiot.
Yeah, there's things I like about him and things I really hate and things that he's really disappointed me on. And I do think he needs to not worry about being the politician so much right now and being nice. I think he needs to come out and be like, fuck you, Trump. Let's get fucking NAFTA reorganized. And, you know. Exactly.
Like, you know, when I first heard that Trump wanted to, you know, renegotiate NAFTA, I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Because if we go off with Mexico and we just kind of fucking fuck them over even more, fuck you. But our leader, unfortunately, doesn't have the backbone that 45 does.
Well, they've said that if he said it, if Trump wants to pull out and completely cancel NAFTA, they've already got an agreement between Mexico and Canada. So
good, perfect. I mean, it's,
you know, and they've made the deals with the EU. I guess they're going to renegotiate a version of the TPP. So at least they're forward thinking in that.
Good.
But
that's what we need.
Our economy is so tied to America.
It is.
Let somebody else buy it. Somebody buy it at a profit.
75% of our trade is with the U.S.
Yeah.
You know, so we're very, very intertwined with their economy. But it's just, I have this feeling right now that we're not strong enough as a nation to actually combat this guy. And I don't mean as a nation because I'm a Canadian. I know Canadians. We're very headstrong fucking people.
Oh yeah.
You know, we as far as, I mean, I know like that's not how we're portrayed or anything like that, but we're very headstrong kind of individuals.
Yeah, exactly. We dig our heels in.
But I don't feel like we're strong enough politically right now to combat this fucking fool.
We'll see. I think he has his moments. I think he can do it. You know, look, he stood up and he took in all these refugees and he said, fuck the rest of the world who thinks we're being crazy. You know?
Again, though, that wasn't him. Harper already decided that we were taking those people in. That's something that a lot of people tend to forget.
But he still took more.
Already in motion. Another, like, what, 15,000? I mean, to me, that was just bolstering.
15,000 that weren't supposed to come.
It was just bolstering, right? It was just that's my opinion on it. You know, it was already set in motion. He was just trying to solidify his own position and be like, hey, look, you know, I'm cool. Whatever. That's beside the point. It's true though. I don't want us to end up in the political climate they have down there. I don't.
That's my worry. Is the pendulum's going to swing?
You know, and like you said, we do have this habit here of mirroring what's going on down there.
It's like we're so desperate to be like America that we just, you know.
Well, we're so desperate to be like them, but like most Canadians' national identity revolves around the fact that we're not American.
I know, but then why do they care? You know what I mean? You see so much people just like, oh yeah, I love Trump. Why would you love Trump?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally pin a lot of that on his anti-immigration stance, anti-illegal immigration. I think a lot of people take that to heart solely for the fact of it's problematic. To me, it negates our rule of law, right? To say that you can just jump the border, come here illegally, and all right, cool, you're here, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair, exactly. And I mean, even past the point of fairness, it's not right. We're a society of laws.
Exactly.
You have to abide by these laws, and when we have people circumventing these laws, and then people fighting for the right to circumvent our laws, it cheapens the whole fucking thing. You know, there's a reason why we have it better. Like seriously, there is. There's a reason why, and I mean, I understand that statement can be taken racist or fucking however you want to spin it, but it's the truth. There is a reason why Western countries are better off than every other fucking country on earth, because we abide by these laws.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we can't start fucking negating them because our feelings, our emotions, because we feel empathetic. I get it. I feel fucking terrible for how some of these people around the earth have to live.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I really do. It makes me feel so fucking horrible. But I'm not willing to forego our laws to make myself feel fucking better. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and in some of these cases, I understand, like in places like Syria, look, you're running, you're escaping, you have no choice.
Yeah.
But people that are coming, you know, into Europe from, say, like Algeria, stay and make your country better.
Right? Like,
you know, fight and make your country better.
It's not an easy road. Like, it's nothing is done easily, and you can't better yourself through handouts.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. What's those signs you always see at the zoos? Don't feed the bears. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that's what it is. Like, and when we constantly are giving out aid and giving out handouts and, you know, kind of selling ourselves short because of our empathy, it sells us short. How's that improving our quality of life?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, I've said the people that all came up, the people escaping Trump from America, they tried to be refugees in America, and they were worried they're going to be deported, and then they snuck into Canada. You know, I feel bad for you, but I think you should all be deported back to your countries.
You know, it's unfortunate, and I do understand that Canada does have some of the harshest immigration laws. It's not easy to come here. It's not. You know, maybe we can loosen those strings a little bit, but at the same point in time, no. Because I don't want our nation cheapened.
No, I want, you know, like when we brought in the Syrian, we've talked about this many times, when we brought in the Syrian refugees, these were people that had been vetted for
years.
Plus 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You know, at least 2 years. And so we're getting people, for the most part, I think we've only had trouble with one refugee.
Yep.
That was the crazy lady that tried to stab somebody in Canadian Tire.
Did it turn out she was a refugee? Because I remember when that first came out.
Oh, she wasn't?
I remember when the story first came out, they didn't exactly know if she was a refugee or not.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But I thought she was a Syrian refugee.
Yeah, no.
But even still, issues. I mean, I think that's a mental issue. I don't think she's really ISIS.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck it. That's so dumb.
You know?
But it's just, we can't, as a species, we can't allow our empathy to run wild. So we all start fucking ourselves over for, you know, this greater good. It's something that you've said a few times. We should spend more time teaching than giving handouts. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really one for like medical aid, birth control for these women to control their own bodies, and education. Let's teach people how to grow crops or educate, you know, lots of different things.
Yeah.
Let's bring in water filter systems so that people can grow crops or have fresh water.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just throw $1 million in rice at somebody, and that's not helping anybody.
What's that do for anyone, right? Or you just say, oh, well, these poor people are too dumb to grow their own fucking rice, so we'll just take them here and let them live off the system at the fucking behest of your fucking your own native populations.
They got these machines that suck the water out of the air now to get drinking water, or irrigation systems. Why aren't we putting these in places like Somalia and Ethiopia that are in drought?
Right.
South Sudan.
Well, that's another thing. Like, we've known about desalinization for years and years.
It's expensive, though. That's the problem.
Well, I mean, would you rather have fucking drinking water and, you know, a country that's maybe not so rich, or a country where your fucking citizens are fucking...
I think we should do it, absolutely. You know me, I'm all for helping people and where they live. You start giving people access to clean water, that changes everything.
Right.
You know?
It's just so fucked up. But again, I just feel like here in the West, we've had it so comfortably. And we live very comfortable lives, you know? We're not out there fighting for fucking survival. You know, we don't...
When was the last time you got up and protest anything?
Same
as me. Never. I don't know about you. I've never protested anything.
I've wanted to, but I've been told that I'm not allowed. Like when the G20 shit happened, I wanted to go down there because I knew a riot was gonna break out, and that's like bucket list shit for me. Once in my life, I wanna fucking partake in a riot.
Oh my god, no! Just wait till Toronto wins the Stanley Cup. There'll be a riot.
I don't know, but
you might be dead by then. 100 years from now.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's real issues.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that the way that we're going about solving them, it's like putting a Band-Aid on the fucking, like a dam, you know? Like the Hoover Dam's got a crack and some water's fucking leaking through, and like rather than fucking dealing with it at the foundation, we're just putting a Band-Aid on.
It's that old story of the Dutch boy in the dike, right? Sticking his finger in the hole.
Exactly. You know, we're not doing anything other than saying some words and doing some quick fixes to kind of pat ourselves on the backs and be like, see, we're good fucking people.
Yeah, we give millions of dollars in AIDS. That's fantastic. You know what? It's a great humanitarian thing, but you do so much better if you use that money to educate people.
Fucking
That's
right.
I really am 100% for education.
Yeah.
Because once you educate women and young boys and young girls, then they're empowered and they can learn things. When they don't know how to read or write, then they're open to suggestion for any government or any war or anything, and they don't know.
Exactly.
Anyways, we've gone over. We should end the show because we've been chatting away. We'll be back on Wednesday with more stories, and have a good week.
Happy Halloween.
So yeah, happy Halloween.